Hello. So I'm out here and want to talk a little bit about Captain Stanley Lord, who really a tragic story. We're here in a remote location in Idaho, but what I'm actually talking about is took place at a remote location in the Atlantic Ocean. You're well familiar with it. It's related to the Titanic shipwreck, but it's related to a different ship, which was captained by Stanley Lord, and he was captain of the SS Californian. And this is a really tragic story beyond what you can even imagine, because Captain Lord was blamed for not rescuing all of those people who died. And it's said that if he would have reacted properly, no one would have had to die on that shipwreck, which is a tragic thing to say about somebody. And is it right or not is not entirely clear. But what happened was he had his ship was dead in the water. It was stopped in the icebergs, and they were surrounded by ice all around, and they were basically waiting it out until morning, because it was treacherous, obviously, as the Titanic found out. And they saw the Titanic about 4 miles off in the distance, and they were trying to radio over to it just to warn it about the ice, in case they didn't know, just to get the news of what's going on and let them know about the danger that they're facing. And what happened is the Titanic radio didn't respond to radio calls. And when they did call, the only response they got was an angry operator who was stressed out and overworked and trying to fix the equipment. And he basically told him to quit bothering him. And so at that point, the Californian's radio operator went to I don't know if you could see my dog there. So anyway, we're here. So there was a radio breakdown, a communication breakdown. And throughout the night, so the captain the captain hadn't slept in 18 hours, so there was nothing going on. They were monitoring the situation of the Titanic. They saw it over there. They didn't realize anything was wrong, and they were trying to communicate. And so eventually they went ahead and the captain went to bed. And tragically, what happened then was they saw flares. But the captain thought, well, he's half asleep, and he thought, well, that could be them just signaling to a sister ship. And so ultimately they didn't do anything. And then they eventually, when the Titanic sunk, they thought it had just sailed away. And so despite all the warning flares, nothing happened. And they could have just sailed over 4 miles to check it out, and all those people could have been saved had they responded promptly. But that didn't happen. And so that's why they were blamed. That's why Captain Lord was blamed. Now you might ask, well, why was the radio operator on the Californian slept through the night, and they didn't wake him up to inquire about the flares. So that really ought to have happened also, but apparently they didn't sense the danger. So the captain was sleeping, the radio officer was sleeping. They made some attempts to get information. They were watching and monitoring. But they didn't perceive the danger. And so, it's said that Captain Lord died of grief years later after trying to defend himself, and after his wife died. And so it's a tragic story for him, for all of the victims, obviously, of the Titanic as well. And it's easy, and he was condemned by an investigation, but it's hard to really know for sure. He was not charged, so I don't think they weren't sure. I mean, he didn't know that there was a problem. He certainly didn't knowingly. He didn't realize the ship was sinking. But we all need to make sure that we're not sleeping on watch. For example, look at our health. Are we sleeping on watch? Are we sleeping on watch when there are warning signs of our health? that we ought to take some actions, but we're sleeping at the wheel. Another thing that we got to watch out for is not sleeping enough, because lack of sleep causes a lot of mistakes are made, as in this case. Lack of sleep causes a lot of problems, and sleeping causes a lot of problems. So it's a tough situation, but I think there's one shipwreck we can learn a lesson from. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you appreciate these kind of stories. Thanks for watching.